Welcome everybody back to Gutsy Hunter TV. Gutsy Hunter here with you to bring you a new series for Fisher Online. We'll go ahead and get started with this here. This is a new account, excuse me, for this game, I should say. So we'll go ahead and get started, go through the tutorial and answer some questions that I've seen in the past. So we'll start on Decorah Pond, which is the beginner pond, I guess you could say. So let's go ahead and get going here. So first thing that we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and go through the settings real fast here. Let's turn this up to high quality. You guys deserve that. Let's see, game. So you can opt to show how your tackles displayed. I separated out for me. For those of you who don't prefer kilograms, you can check that box right here. And then you can see your field of view. We're going to change this to about 75%. Oh, I guess we can't. 60 it is then. So he's changed that up since last time. All right. So let's go ahead and go to graphics. We were just here. Everything looks good there. Sound. There's nothing really to do here, but controls is where we want to be. So let's see. I think everything is going to be okay. Yep, we look good there. All right, let's go ahead and jump on back here. So this here is the fishing shop. Each level, for the most part, will have a fishing shop. So to go inside there, you can see here at this location, you can purchase bloodworms, you can purchase the maggots, worms, peas, pearl barley, some potato cubes, some caddisflies, some grain, larva bark beetle, some bread, and mayflies. Currently, we have 100 worms with the little green check mark here, and we have 100 bread. Other things that can be purchased here, you can see you can buy lures. We start off with a 12-gram Raiden and a 5-gram Adam. So the rest we'll have to purchase as we go along. Imitation bait, that's kind of just like little pebbles that look like bait that we can put on our rod. Here you can see you can get float rods, different types. You can actually buy a second walnut rod if you wanted to. And then, of course, as you go up the chain here, you get a little more expensive. They can handle more weight, more power. We have a Rocket 3, which is a 3-kilogram rod. And it can carry between 2 and 15 pounds on that. So, actually not pounds, was that light? Oh, it's probably grams. So, that's the amount of bait and weights that we can use when we're bottom fishing. So, and then the feeder rods, you can see there. Reels, lines. I'm not going to spend too much time on each of these. We do have 2 lines already. We have a 3-kilogram, both of them. So, hooks, different size hooks, as well as jig heads, and offset if you're doing wacky worm style. You can see the different floats. And let's see what else. Your fish basket, you start with a 10-kilogram basket. That allows you to have 20 fish in there, up to a weight of 10 kilograms. And these things you can buy. Some of these you can make through crafting, which is a new thing that was added just recently to the game. Makes it a lot of fun. Here's your bells for your bottom fishing. And then your dips and volleys and ground bait that you can make or purchase, pre-purchase. So that is, in a nutshell, the fishing store. Here is the fish trader where you do come to sell your fish. We currently don't have any at the moment, obviously, so let's go ahead and change that now. So let's go to the inventory, which is the I key on here. And you can see we have a spinning rod, and then we also have the float rod. So the float rod, we've got a worm with a size 0 hook on it. So very tiny hook, a small worm. Now, this does mean, excuse me, that even though we have a small hook, you can use up to a medium hook size for worms themselves. So it gives you an idea of how that works there. It looks like this is just our spinning kit here. We got a 4 kilogram reel against a 3 kilogram rod, so our line is luckily going to be the match of our rod, but so we have to be kind of careful if we do some spin fishing. Let's go ahead and I saw a fish jump out there. It looks like it's 8:30 at night, so we might have some challenges here. So we're going to go ahead and start at 1 meter deep. The plus and minus keys on the keyboard will go ahead and allow you to change the depth of your float. So, and then the left mouse button, you can see that there's a meter on the right there. The longer you hold that, the more power you put behind it. The Z key allows you to zoom in so you can see your float. And then if you want to put your rod down, that is the Y key in this game. So if we wanted to go ahead and try throwing out our spin, we could. And spinning works just like in a game. Left mouse will go ahead and retrieve it. You can go ahead and hold down your R key, and you can change the speed of your retrieve. I usually go anywhere from 16 to 30, depending on the lure I'm using. You can see that we're currently doing uniform guiding right now. So and it looks like we have a fish on here. So right click goes ahead and sets the hook for you. And then if you continue to hold it, it goes ahead and lifts the rod up. A lot of simplistic type things here for this, but much like its competitor Russian fishing for, it's just nice to get back and sit back and relax and do some fishing. And what do we got here? Perch. Yep. 147 gram perch. So we'll go ahead and keep him for now. The one thing that we want to do is explain the phone system or your tracker. So if you hit the Q key, it brings up your little portable phone. You can see the records of the lake. This is pretty handy if you're new to a lake and you kind of want to see what they might be biting on. You've never fished it here before. So let's say we were going after, let's see, pike. So you can see the biggest fish, which was 5 kilograms, was caught on bait fish, but we don't have any bait fish. So what can we do? Well, we can go over here and we can see, another one was caught on a popper, an asp, TW2, and bait fish. So that gives you an idea of what you might start using. But let's say we were going after eye instead. You can see maggots really doing well, potato cubes, and corn. So it gives you an idea of what to use to potentially catch, fish on the lake here. The next thing is your personal fishing profile. As you can see, we've caught 1 fish, no trophies. Just kind of gives you really a high level view on yourself. If you go to the fish on lake, which is also another option on the phone, you can see what fish are actually in this lake that we can catch. So we'll go ahead and close that. Go back to Q for a second. Mail, if you get mail from friends inside the game. Quest is very important. So this is kind of your go-to bread and butter while you're using the Fish Online. As you can see here, the daily task is to catch any fish for a total of 972 grams. So 7 kilograms, 972 grams. And if you do that, you get 1 angler token, and we'll talk about that later here in a second. And then you get $64 or $62 or silver pieces and some experience with that. Then on top of that, you can get some more income. So you could go for, in addition to this, you could pick up the crucian. And then if you complete that, which is just catching 8 golden crucian for $44.52. Looks like the perch for some reason is grayed out, but that's all right. Here we could see, and then so you can do this and this, and then you can earn consumables. In this case, when you complete one of these, you get the specific baits that are tied with it. So like if we went with the perch, we could get 7 mayfly larvae for catching 2 kilograms and 920 grams of perch, but the minimum weight has to be 269 grams. So for example, that last fish we caught would not count in that. And the last one is just pure experience. So if you complete one of these 2, you can pick up hefty experience, which boosts your level. So, and then that level goes towards being able to buy larger equipment, stronger equipment, I should say, as well as unlocking some additional features. So we'll go ahead and jump back out of here. Looks like our barber's going off. So just push the 1 key to pick it up off the ground. We'll zoom in while we wait for it to go under here. And then you just left click to bring it in. You can, of course, use the right click and bring it in that way. And what do we get? We got a nice little crucian there, 425 grams. We'll go ahead and keep him for some experience. Now, if you wanted to say you wanted to cast that in the exact same spot, this game allows you to do this, but if you hit the middle mouse button, it casts it right back where you were. So if you're in a fishing hotspot and you don't want to move positions or accidentally cast somewhere else, see, we're already getting another bite. So, and we right click that one. We'll bring them in here real quick. What do we get? We got a rough. Nice. Let's go ahead and turn on our light. To activate your flashlight on this game is the P key on the keyboard. P is in Papa. So go ahead and keep him. Cast it right back out there. And let's go ahead and set this down for just a second so we can continue going over the phone. Fish on the lake. Once again, we just covered that. We just kind of did that through the tab. There are auctions available. I typically do not do this, but if you guys are up to and you've got some extra silver, you can go into the auction house here and you can purchase these items for the specific amount. So if you wanted Recipe Fly King, you'd have to spend 32,000 silver for a piece of it. So you can see it kind of goes up there. Next thing is travel. So travel is how we get to the different fishing zones on the game. You'll start here at Belarus if you're new to the game, level 1. And then you can see your next one will be level 5, which is going to be in Germany. It's going to be Wasserdam. And then from there, you can go to 8, which is the River Pra. And you can see you could just bounce around. You do have a couple of, if you purchase the DLCs, USA has the 1,000 Islands, which is great for bass fishing if you're into that. And then you have the NC, which is in Siberia. So another river to fish. So you can, those are just DLCs. But the rest of this that you see here is all part of the game. And you can go ahead and work your way up through that. So it looks like we'll get another bite here. Looks like that might be a pretty good sized fish for this little float rod. All right, another little crucian. Nice. We'll go ahead and flip it back out there while we're talking here still. Okay. So let's go back to the phone. Once again, letter Q. Tourneys, these are just tournaments that you could go into. So you could sign up for the River Po. If you were at least between level 22 and 50, you could sign up, try to get the info for that. Then you have a bottom blitz that somebody's sponsoring for levels 26 to 100 and 12 to 100 for here. So, so if you click on the info, it would just tell you, when it's going to start, how much, time's left. So on this one, it looks like there's an hour and 14 minutes, 30-minute duration. So, but that's how you get into the tournaments. If you're interested, you can join clubs in here as well. Oh, get another bite here. Kind of toying away with it like a crucian. Yeah, that might be a gibble, actually. Oh, a tench. Nice. Oh, let's go ahead and change this up. Let's go ahead and flip it over here and see what we can get. If there's something different hanging over here. So we'll put that down with the Y key again. Some of the questions that I do get, I already get another bite. Small fish. That's all right. Another rough. Okay, so some of the questions I get. So I'll show you with this rod here. See, a lot of people ask me, how come I have the 3 separate indicators down the bottom? Because I like to see the difference if it's more stress on my line or pole or reel individually. And that's where we were at in the, in the game here versus tackle load. That's why I separate it. If you just wanted one bar, you could do the integrated. So that's what that difference is right there. Some of the other things that you can see, get another bite here. So you can see the line, how much line we've got out there going right now. Not very far, obviously, with this rod and reel. Another rough. Now, if we were to let this rough go, we would get some small amount of XP, but we're going to go ahead and keep him. So to describe the indicators that we have over here on the right, let me go ahead and flip over my mouse here. So the right here is your catch net. You can see we're about a little over a quarter, about a quarter that we've almost 25% we filled this up with. And then you can see this is the current bait on our current setup. So we're using worms. The reel or the gear setup broken out into individual items. Over here is the chat. So currently I am on local chat, but if I was in a club, I could switch that over to just club chat, tournament chat, and private chat. So you can see it does keep track of. Technically, this is a multiplayer game, but you're always individually fishing. You won't see anybody around you, but you can see people that are catching different fish in the area that you're in. So let me go ahead and close that. So you can see we just leveled up to level 2. Up here is the current coordinates on the lake that we're on. So if I push the M key for the map, you get a visual of where we're at. And you can fish this whole lake basically from the bridge. You could take the bridge and walk on the other side here. You could also come around this side. Blue or dark blue is your depth. So these are your deeper holes. Then you can see the next depth is there, and then there. Actually, it would be there, then there, and then this being the shallowest. So, so that's the map, which is the M key again. Up above here, this is the direction you're facing. If you do put a waypoint out on the map, so let me do that real quick here for you. Let's say we wanted to go up here. Oh, it's not going to let me do. Oh, because I don't have premium. Usually you can put waypoints out, so that's a premium only feature. That's okay. So if you were to set a waypoint, what would happen is on your map here, or on your, if you looked over this way, you would see like a dot indicating that that's where you set your waypoint. Oh, sorry. Getting used to the different keys now for Windows 11. Going back here, this is just your indicator that we're using our flashlight, and this is the current time in game. So 1 full hour in game is a day in the Fisher Online. So that's the indicator screens. Backspace will put my rod away for me. Let me push the Alt key so we get back to walk mode here. So some of the things that we can do here that I wanted to cover real quick. So yes, we can sell these fish, and currently if we were to sell all of our fish, we'd have 4.95 silver. But let's say, hey, you know what? I'm running low on bait. What can we do? So what you can do is you can go out of here and push the C key on your keyboard, and you can see now that we have an option for a cutting table. So we have 3 fish, which are basically the rough, that we can turn into bait fish. Remember how pike were biting on bait fish? So I'll do this for one of them. Let's say we wanted to we're just going to do one. And then you just cut this little knife symbol right there. So now we have 1 bait fish. And then we can let's just do all 3. Okay, so, but we do have a couple of these crucians that we could do, cut them up for actual fish pieces, which is another bait style. So we'll go ahead and do that. So there you go. So that is the cutting table. Now let's say though, I mentioned when we were looking over here about crafting. So if we go to accessories, you see that there's a rod pod holder. You can actually make this rod pod. So if you come back out, you go back to that C key again, which is your crafting key. This time we want to go to the craft table. Here is where you can craft different types of baits. So when you're going through that, what's on the lake, you see somebody, let's say somebody caught a fish on a bunch of, giblets. Well, you can't buy that in the store. You actually have to make it. So in order to make it, what you would need is fish offals, and then you need some fish pieces, and then you would need some PVA material. So you buy the PVA material in the store, but then these are things that you harvest from the cutting table. And then once you had the minimum requirements, so here you would need 2 PVA material, you need 5 fish pieces, and you need 20 offals. Once you have that, then you can come in here, you can craft one bunch of giblets. Keep in mind that when you do that, you need to use at least a number 3 hook. So it works best on 3 to 5. So, okay, so that covers that piece of the crafting table. Now let's go to the assembly side of it. So the assembly side is where we can make, in this case, like the salmon rod pod. So you can see, in order to do that, we would have to we would have to have the minimum map, then a metal set, and then a plastic set. So you need one of those, 2 of those, 1 of those. Well, if you want to have the beeps, you'll need to have the electrical beepers. You don't have to, but it's advised if you're going to do the rod pod here. So you would need 3 of those, 1 for each slot, because it'll hold 3 poles. And then this is your end product once you get to these different crafting parts. So, for example, these 2 meet this requirement. This one meets this requirement. And then what happens is that these 2, once built, you then assemble into here. So basically all you're doing is when we have one, you're clicking it, you're holding it until it fills up. And then you would do the same thing over here. Click this till it holds up, then same here. And you just follow this flow chart. That's all you're really doing. You'll add your beepers right here. And once you've added those, then you complete the entire fish. So that's some of the things that you can do there. Let's go ahead and sell these fish so you can see that as well. All right, so we're just going to sell all of them. So instead of having the 4 silver, we're going to get 1 silver for both those fish because we use the other ones for the crafting piece of it. So the final thing that we want to cover here real quick is we want to go ahead and the angler tokens. So if we go into, so we can go in here. So let's say you wanted this worm for fishing. Actually, this is tournament tokens, sorry. So we'll cover that too since we're right here. So you can't buy this for just regular silver. You would need to have 30 silver, and then you need to have 5 tournament tokens. Well, how do I get tournament tokens, Gutsy? So you remember how we were looking at the tournament from our cell phone right here? So let's say you got into this tournament right here. You got within the top, I think it's the top 5. Sometimes it depends how they set it up. But anyway, let's say you got the first one. Well, that would go ahead and give you, in this case, you'd have 20 tournament tokens if you got first place. And then you get 10,000 experience. Second place, you get 10 tokens. So, okay, let's say we got first place. Okay, well, now what do we do? Let me close this so I can get back to my walking here. So we got our 20 tokens from that tournament. So what we would do is then we would be able to buy this because we'd have 30. And since we have 20 tokens, we would have only need, 5 of those 20, and then you could purchase that. So that's what the tournament tokens are. So now for the other tokens. So let's go back to our travel. So some of these, let's see here. What was it? I want to say, nope, that's silver now. Did they change it then? Let's see here. I was looking to see if there was anything that takes the angler tokens now. I'm not seeing anything. So maybe they've changed that, or maybe he's revamping it. Yeah, because it looks like everything is trophy tokens there. So, all right, well, that makes it just as easy then. So I'm not sure what he's going to be using the angler tokens for going forward here. So, but let's go ahead and, nope, I don't want that. Let's say you are really enjoying the game and you want to support the developer. If you click on the VIP signal here, should be able to at least. I might not be able to since I'm not high enough rank yet. Anyway, the VIP icon was right there. Let's see if it's in here. This right here is the VIP icon. You can go ahead and you can purchase VIP token, or not tokens, but badges to go ahead and give you premium access to things. You can go by a certain amount of days, I think 3 months and 6 months. So keep your eyes open for that. We'll cover that maybe in a later when we get a little more rank underneath this. So I think that will cover everything for this first video. It is a short video, but I tried to cover everything we had to get you started on this. Of course, we'll cover more in depth as we continue this series. If you guys are really enjoying this series, or you think you'll like this and you want to see something in particular, let me know. I'll be more than glad to cover that. Leave it down below in the comments if you don't mind. And then what we'll do is I will go ahead and wrap this up, and I will see you guys on the next one. Until next time, take care.